Our planet is facing a crisis. Climate change, driven by rising levels of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, threatens our environment, our economies, and our very way of life. But amidst these challenges, a new seed of hope is being sown: carbon farming. Carbon farming represents a paradigm shift in agriculture. It's a move away from extractive practices that deplete our soils and release carbon into the atmosphere. Instead, it embraces methods that capture and store carbon, transforming farms from polluters into powerful allies in the fight against climate change. Imagine a world where farms not only produce our food, but also help heal the planet, where the very act of cultivating our land actively draws down excess carbon from the atmosphere, helping to restore balance to our climate. This is the promise of carbon farming, a revolution rooted in the soil beneath our feet. And the best part? It's a win-win situation. Farmers benefit from healthier soils, increased yields, and new revenue streams. The environment benefits from reduced greenhouse gases and enhanced biodiversity. And we all benefit from a more stable climate and a healthier planet for generations to come. At the heart of carbon farming lies an elegant natural process: carbon sequestration. Through photosynthesis, plants absorb carbon dioxide from the atmosphere and convert it into organic matter, storing it in their leaves, stems, and roots. When these plants decompose, this carbon-rich organic matter is incorporated into the soil. Picture a field of lush cover crops, their roots reaching deep into the earth. These roots act like tiny straws, drawing carbon dioxide from the air and channeling it into the soil. There, it becomes food for a thriving ecosystem of microorganisms. These microscopic heroes are the unsung champions of carbon sequestration. They break down organic matter, releasing nutrients that nourish plants and further enhance the soil's ability to store carbon. The more carbon we can lock away in our soils, the less remains in the atmosphere to contribute to climate change. This simple yet powerful process is key to mitigating climate change. By adopting carbon farming practices, we can harness the power of nature to capture and store vast amounts of carbon, transforming our agricultural lands into a powerful carbon sink. But how do we encourage farmers to embrace these climate-smart practices? This is where carbon credits come in, a financial instrument that rewards farmers for their role in sequestering carbon. Think of a carbon credit as a certificate representing 1 metric ton of carbon dioxide removed from the atmosphere. Farmers who implement carbon farming practices can earn these credits, verifying their carbon sequestration efforts through rigorous scientific methods. These credits can then be sold to businesses and individuals seeking to offset their own carbon footprint. It's a market-based solution that incentivizes farmers to adopt sustainable practices while providing a new revenue stream for their efforts. Imagine a farmer receiving a bonus check for implementing no-till farming or planting cover crops. This additional income not only rewards their environmental stewardship, but also helps offset the costs of transitioning to these climate-smart practices. Carbon credits create a virtuous cycle benefiting both farmers and the planet. The process of earning and selling carbon credits might seem complex, but it's becoming increasingly accessible to farmers. Several organizations and platforms facilitate this process, connecting farmers with buyers and providing guidance on implementing carbon farming practices. The first step is to choose a reputable carbon credit program. These programs vary in their requirements and verification processes, so it's important to do your research and select one that aligns with your farm's unique characteristics and goals. Once enrolled in a program, farmers will need to implement and document their carbon farming practices. This might involve adopting no-till farming, planting cover crops, integrating livestock grazing, or implementing agroforestry systems. After a specified period, typically several years, the program will verify the amount of carbon sequestered on the farm through soil testing and other scientific methods. Based on this verification, farmers will receive carbon credits that can then be sold on the open market. The price of carbon credits can fluctuate depending on supply and demand, but the growing demand for carbon offsets suggests a promising future for farmers who invest in these sustainable practices. Carbon credits offer a tangible way for farmers to get paid for their environmental stewardship, turning their fields into a source of both food and financial security.